Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to our brand new home in the ice biome, overlooking the pillar biome. In today's video, we're going to try and make this place a little bit more homely by building some new buildings. Now, there is one thing we need to do soon if we're going to stay in this area a little bit more permanently, so building up buildings, building up defenses rather than just a single turret. We're going to need to make these resources disappear, because most of the lag in this game, right now I'm at 35 FPS, if I move over here I'm now back to 60, is because we can see the resources. That's just how the game works now, and now that the resources have a lot more physics to them, they're not too great to be on screen. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it causes the frame rate to drop rapidly. So if I want to stay in this area, what I'm going to need to do is essentially cover up the resources. Which is kind of annoying because the whole point of this setup was so we could see the resources, but I'm doing that in the future. Today, all I want to do is build 1 or 2 power stations. So over there where the steam is, I want to put down a little power generator which will then send power around our base. Eventually, I would like to have what is essentially a giant electric fence all the way around here with new types of defense turrets. I want to perfect the defense turret now that we're rich, so we can add missiles or railguns, and then this whole little plateau here will be our permanent home, the final home of the season. But first of all of this resource on the floor is really annoying me, so I'm going to spawn in the Nimble Thimble, clean things up, and then we're going to get building. Here's one thing I forgot, we are indeed on the ice biome, which means moving around is not the most easy thing to do anymore. So we do also need to figure out what wheels are best on the ice, because right now it seems like these wheels are okay, but there is a bit of slip. As you can see there, you can't exactly stop instantly. I'm thinking most likely tracks are better, but I'm not too sure. So we need a small tech around here which use better wheels. The Muddy Dog wheels are definitely somewhere in between. They're okay, but could be significantly better. Now let's see what's over here. Can we kill this guy that I'm hurting us? We are just using the thimble after all. It's not exactly that combat effective. Oh. Slip and slide. There we go. We're fine. Maybe should have charged up to full first. Surprise! Missiles! That works. So, there's steam right here. Obviously, that's the one we're going to go for. There's one over there. In fact, there's 2 over there. We could build a single generator. There's 2 over there as well, but all on very uneven terrain. This would be very easy to build with. And we could build multiple. Once we've built one, we can always copy and paste. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Oh yeah, I have drills. That's the whole point of the Nimble Thimble. It's a harvester. Now with missiles. So let's put down our... Is it in power? I imagine it probably would be. There we go. The anchored furnace generator. As high as possible. Is that actually on? Doesn't look like it is. Doesn't it stop the steam normally? Because that's the furnace generator, Lathrix, you dum-dum. Wrong one. Do I really have none of the steam generators? I know I have one over here. That's why I'm going to just steal it straight away. There we are. And let's move that away. The geothermal generator. Well, we're going to need more of those. So whilst I'm gone, could you make me at least one more of those? Oh, that's really cheap. Okay, good. We can make loads of them. Like I was saying before. There we go. And now we're generating power. And we have loads of battery packs. Can we just place that on top? No, we can't. So, how are we going to do this? So, my overall idea is, I want all of this area powered with no solar generators. So we're going to put down power generators everywhere we can, and connect them via some kind of pylon system. Which means they do need to be shielded, and we are going to need lots of defense turrets, which thankfully can feed off the power. I want this whole area to look industrialized, corrupted, tainted, Lathrixianized. So first of all, let's just put some of these down. This doesn't charge up as fast as I thought it did, but because it's a constant source of power, as long as we're not under attack constantly, it really doesn't matter. And unlike the solar panels, these things are going 24/7, but we're definitely going to need multiples of these. Now the question is, how do we make this look good? Because all we really need right now is some repair bubbles, some shields, and that's all we need. Just a huge battery storage, and then of course the wireless chargers. But I want it to look a little bit more interesting than that, not just a single battery pack placed on the ground. Which it literally is right now. This is the core. We build off of the core. There we are, we now have 2 AI, very heavily defended near the core. The problem, of course, is the core is still batteries, so I will be putting other AI elsewhere as well. Basically, I want these things to be near impossible to kill. These are our only source of power. We need this thing to survive anything. So I'm thinking 2 repair bubbles, one here, with the connection points outwards, so we can build off that. Then we'll give it a regular AI as well, somewhere else. That way we can jump between them. Essentially, we're going to do the whole fast travel thing. I've never liked the idea of this, because it does sort of reduce the need for different types of mobile craft. At least it does for me. I'm one of those people, as soon as I see the easier option, I do tend to gravitate towards it, so I try to avoid the option and thus not force myself down that path. But, well, this seems like the perfect opportunity to do that, so we're going to do that. There is so much power already being stored here. So what do I actually want this to look like then? I'm thinking we branch off a little bit. And oh, I just thought of something we could do. Why not make it into 2 separate craft? The reason is here, well at least the thinking is, it will look awesome. Because we could add these on the top here. And then we build a sort of frame craft which goes above this and is fed through these. That way there's always arcing electricity from the base, and then from that, and then that can feed the pylons, or however we actually move our power around. Lathrix, you are not a well, you are a dum-dum. You're not as dumb as I thought you were this morning. However, we are going to need way more of those wireless chargers. We do have loads of the regular wireless chargers, which will work out just fine, but wow, that's slipping though. But I would love to use the Geocorp ones for once, so keep on making... Oh my god, they're expensive! Yeah, keep on making them until you can't anymore, but yeah, that is really expensive for something that's only marginally better than the small version. Hello over there! I have missiles now! Nimble Thimble, now in its evil mode. Okay, let's, put down... Where are you? The anchored AI module. Let's put it like here. Now, what... yeah. Which corporation should I focus on for this build? I'm just thinking Geocorp. I think it makes the most sense. It's the mining and harvesting faction. But I still probably want to use the Havoc shields because they make life so much easier. Could use 4 Havoc shields on the bottom here so easily. Just done, done... Done. Plonk. There we are, everything's repair bubbled, and it's super heavily shielded. Of course, that does mean we need more Havoc shields, but oh well, we have to craft more. That's the whole point of the game. For a second there, I thought craft was in the name. I was going to be like, Terracraft. Wait, that's wrong. I'm very tired still. Okay, anchored, you go here, and I'll pop down this as well, just so I can... instantly attached to you. Oh, yeah, you're the mobile version, aren't you? Well, as soon as we put down anything else which is anchored, that'll be fine. Do we just have the fixed anchor? You know what, let's just put down the fixed anchor rather than you. You are going away, I'm afraid. Goodbye. Put down the fixed anchor. In that case, then we can just use the Geocorp fixed anchor. The fish anchor, everyone. That's what we're using. Yeah, this is going to look really good. This is definitely the way to go. 3 then down, or maybe 4 then down? I'm thinking 3 then down. Don't want this to be too big. Otherwise it's going to be difficult to place down all the time. And I think I'll add one of these corner sections on each, which means I am going to need more of the fixed anchors, which should be significantly cheaper than things we're building currently. Now don't get attacked, we're building. Whee! I just had that really weird glitch occur. Because I put down the component factory after I put down the fabricator, it was requesting all of these things, and then they were never getting to the compound factory. So it was just cycling resources over and over again. But now I put it back, it's all working, although we are out of the blue resource, which is very annoying. I doubt I have any stored. Well, oh well. Let's just go back to what I was going to do anyway. We can focus on that later. There's loads of stuff down there. There's deserts all around us. Actually, certain types of resources might be a bit difficult to get, including that. And that needs the raw version. Well then. Nimble Thimble. Actually, no, not Nimble Thimble. The other harvester, which can craft stuff. We need to... Oh, wait, no, I can't craft it because you can't craft raw resources into their raw blocks. They always become the smelted version. So, what do I have, which is made of the blue resource, raw. There we are. And wood. Also, hover, go away. There we are, of course, just the regular geocorp blocks. Good. We have done so many missions in this game, we just have so much stuff to scrap, it's a little bit insane. Oh yeah, look at all that blue raw. Lovely. So for wood, we use basically any GSO basic block, and for blue, we use any of the geocorp basic. And they all give plumbia. We have loads of plumbia. We don't need that many of the anchors anyway, maybe... how many of these are we going to make today? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 5 at most. Most. I am so blind. There's blue ore and trees right there. Right there. No idea why I moved over there then. We could have just teleported over, and that's the reason why I don't like the idea of bouncing around constantly. Either way, though, let's continue with this. I don't want it to be overly complex, because we are going to have a lot of them, so I don't need them to be really, really expensive, and I don't want them to cause any form of lag. So... 1, 2... 1, 2... On top of that, we are going to have to change them every time we put one down, because we're never going to get just a nice flat piece of land. Like this one, for instance, can probably go one further down, and will that just about fit an anchor? I doubt it, but let's see. No, it won't. That's actually that's another craft. Yeah, it can't fit, but it can do that. I'm okay with that being another tech. It looks silly, but as long as some kind of shielding protects this section, it will also protect the other craft, and that looks better. Oh, I hear combat music. I'm going mad. Oh, look at it slide! You're on ice, mate. That'll warm you up. Too warm? Too warm. Yeah, that looks cool. That looks really cool, especially once we add some more of these. I didn't actually make it. No, I did make 2. Good, I did make 2 before the glitch completely took over. Well, the glitch wasn't stopping it from working, it was just causing overflow. I love that. I absolutely love that. That's fantastic. Okay, so we need shields and everything. So over here, I've had to do this to make it a single creation, sadly. So I need a replacement for just single GSO blocks. What would look better than that? Oh, I guess maybe the bumpers. Yeah, that's a much better idea, Lathrix. Well done you, old chap. If we had the bumpers, we can do that. Because if this is one higher, it doesn't connect, sadly. It would look like it would, but sadly, yeah, that's not quite low enough. And I do want them all connected, it just looks way better. There we go. Then you connect at the bottom. And, yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. In fact, what we could do is maybe make the bottom section always made of these, just various levels of the bumpers. Then it would look a bit more uniform. Let's see how that looks. It's a bit less uniform now because of the different sizes of girder we're using, and I really don't want to use the small ones unless I have to. But I think I prefer that. I think people are going to disagree, though. But yeah, I definitely prefer that. Next up, let's add some lighting. Then let's add a core to the top as well in terms of battery power. Then, what we can do is add these, the chargers, on the outside of the craft. So, maybe at the base, maybe on these edges. And then that can transfer power. Then we need to build a pylon. And I'm thinking maybe some basic weaponry on this thing. Nothing too major, but maybe something like... I know I just said nothing too major, but maybe the Hawkeye autocannon. You know, that tiny thing. Just because it has quite a wide arc of fire. Just something on a turret. Yeah, maybe the... Ooh. Yeah, the Zeus laser cannon, because it's a laser. It's all electric-y and stuff. At least it looks electric-y. Yeah, I know the difference, but it looks electric-y. I would say the railguns, but they need to aim very specifically, and this won't work on a static building. For some reason, that light wouldn't turn on. That looks nice. Just lights down the bottom. And then we can add some lights in the center once we add that. Okay, okay. Spending way too much time on this today, especially since I have very limited time at the moment, due to health concerns. But, let's see. How are we going to do this? Again, we don't want this to be too extreme on top. It's just meant to be the building around this building. It's meant to be simple, nice. I'm also thinking maybe we should put a permanent SCU here as well. So they act more like checkpoints than anything else. You can charge your batteries here. You can use the SCU service, etc, etc. Repair bubbles on the bottom, there we go. So we're never going to have these completely the same. They're not always going to have the smaller block at the bottom, they're not always going to have the longer block, but they're always going to have some level of the bumpers, and they're always going to have repair bubble and then the fixed anchor. So there's many anchor points to this craft. This also means now we have almost complete repair bubble coverage. We just need 2 more, then the whole thing's covered in repair bubbles, and I think that's all we're going to do for this craft. We're probably not going to have shields. If we do, then they're just going to be around the battery. That's what I'm thinking on the very top. The idea is, we're going to have defense turrets all along these lines, so we shouldn't need that much defense on these things. Just a little bit. And then, of course, the core here, because, well, this thing is just made of batteries. This thing, you have to hit very specific parts to really hit anything explosive. All of the lights are facing one way. I can only assume there's an enemy over there. Can't really tell, since we're not using a radar on this thing, because there's very little point of a radar on this thing. Now to make some more lasers, and then I'm going to say this is pretty much done. Now, I know there's not much to it, but that's kind of the point. I want these everywhere. Every time we see a seam of steam, a seam of steam, a steam seam, a steamy seam, a steamy seam, we want this thing on top of it. Seam steam. So next up then, the pylon. So with this, we're going to be even simpler than this. Remember, we're going to have loads of these. That's why I didn't go too over the top with the creation of this. It almost seems like I'm being lazy, and honestly, to an extent, that is the case, because we're going to have them absolutely everywhere. I can't be constantly crafting loads of items and loads of decorations to make these look super unique. Plus, we're rarely going to be seeing them up close and personal. I want them everywhere on the landscape. So, minimalism here is definitely the key. Now, if I add a battery pack, do I get power from this? I do get power from that, but not from this. Okay, we definitely need to make more of the remote chargers then. If these can't reach even here, so how far can that reach? Still reaching, can't reach. That's not too bad. That is not too bad between the pylons. So what we need then is way more of the remote chargers before we do anything else. Hello. Please stop making those, and instead, make these again. Oh, yeah, we have 2 things making things. You, no more repeat. Should be okay after that, right? Good, we have everything stored. Lovely. Lovely. And we're back over 3 million again. Okay, and let's see with this. Pop that there. Okay, we're being fed fairly quickly, so let's move this nice and easily. As long as one reaches us, we're okay. Though obviously if we can get both of them, that would be much better. Now we could add more, but I think that would be a bit excessive when it comes to the visual effects. I want it to be consistent as well, so I don't want that much power flowing through it, otherwise it's going to be over in a few seconds. Look how fast this thing can charge up. You two stop. Perfect. So let's pop that here. And let's continue to build this up. We definitely want at least a repair bubble, in case we take minor damage. At the moment, we are sort of building a totem. I feel like this looks really rough right now because of how minimalist we're going with certain elements and then loads of rods and stuff. But when it's all combined, it's going to look amazing. I hope. Totem! Oh, it's like a battery thing. Or it's a light. I don't really know right now. I know this is really silly, but if we add an AI but no other weapons than this, then essentially these act as beacons to say, oh, by the way, we're under attack. Please help. Speaking of which, apparently this thing's under attack. Where are you even firing? None of your weapons are even aiming at a target. I can't even see the target on the map. It's over there. Maybe I should add a radar to this thing. But yeah, I kind of like that idea. So all we need to do now is add the remote charger. So where are they going to go then? Could just add one like this, if we're going a specific path. I mean, how simple does that look, though? I mean, even with the idea of this being as simple as possible for the sake of lag, it's definitely, Here's one problem, though. If we are only going to bring one pylon from one area to the next, a single charger isn't going to be enough, is it? But I guess the idea is we power up the turrets over time, so when they're attacked they have a huge store, and then one of these is just constantly feeding them afterwards. But even so, I'm thinking perhaps converting that entire line into these. Which means we are going to need way more of them. But that rapidly causes power to go from one to the next. It looks so silly at the moment. Don't worry, this video is a proof of concept. Next video, I'm going to focus on building the new turrets and probably making things look a lot better. Maybe just 3 then. How about 3? Perhaps. What about this? Really, really simple. Almost nothing to it. That's it. So it's going sideways, but all we're losing is one length of this range, and all of these are the same range to the next one, and then we just keep on building them like this. Currently, they don't have any cabs on them. We could save up and then add some of these cabs. Probably not upside down, but you get the general idea there, and then that's done. Simple, easy, very, very spammable, and quite quick when it comes to transferring power. I've even added 2 more of the chargers to the main thing over here. So we're transferring with the speed of 4 of these. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. And not all of them will have a cab, only a couple of them. That'll make things a lot easier. But for now, I'll just save it with the cab, so when I place them down, I can easily control them and place them like this. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Then we just remove the cab, delete the cab, and place the next one down. He's hoping this won't come back at any point and do damage. There we are. Now that should be in range to charge up the base. It's just the base doesn't need power at the moment since it does have solar power on the inside. Which of course makes complete sense, but it does currently have that. I just want to make sure that the base can't power up the pylon. I want all of the power which is going to be moved around to only come from the steam vents, and that's it. Yeah, that looks really cool. Once it's all cleaned up and that's all over the place, that's going to look amazing. Look at that. Yep, I am really happy with that. Now, of course, once the one at the very end is full, this won't be constant, but still. I've also sort of arced it around, because I thought that would look a bit better, but less so. What I might do is have one separate type of pylon, which maybe looks a bit different to this, which is a middle pylon or a turning pylon, and then the regular one. So every time we hit a corner, a little bit more of a grand pylon, and then back to normal. That way it's all nice and straight and easy to see. This looks interesting, but maybe not the best if we keep on using them. So rather than that, keep on going like this. Let's see how far I can go. And that's it, so back up, there we are. Remove that, and we are now over here where our turrets are going to be. And you can go bye-bye. Thank you for your service. Excellent. Okay, I think today's been a good proof of concept day. We haven't done all that much. A lot of this stuff isn't permanent in terms of looks, but I am really, really happy with the idea of this. It is causing a little bit of FPS loss, so what I may need to do is between the Steam sections simply connect these up and not have each one going somewhere separate, so we have perhaps a master section with all of the power storage, which would be a separate building, which we could make look grand, we could make a bit more special, since it's only a one-off. And I was talking about FPS loss, but now I'm away from the base. Yep, we're back up to 60. Still the base. Need to do something about that. I like how there's these occasional little sparks when there's nowhere for the power really needed. Because each of these have a repair bubble, they are very slowly draining power each. Now, our current defense turrets, which are absolutely tiny, are solar powered, so during the day they're not feeding at all. During the night, they will be. Also, we should add lights. I started adding some lights a second ago, but let's finish off and add lights to this one, and then make that the final product just for now. Because I think that would look nice. Okay. 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 With that, though, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's video. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you wish to see continued in the future. I do apologise if today's video was a little bit low energy with not that much getting done, but with my current sleeping problems, with the insomnia, I do need to take it a little bit slower than usual. But don't worry, soon enough that will pass, as it always does with this type of thing, and then we'll get back to our normal schedule and hopefully getting a lot more done per video. Terratech is going nowhere. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Next time, we focus on weaponry.